record. Okay, I have 37 students. Okay, very good. All right, so this is the login screen for the messaging app. And then once you log in, we're gonna move on to the next screen. So I'm gonna make a very simple version of the chat app. So once you log in, you are able to see the list of friends. We're not gonna do anything about add friend or follow friend. I just wanna show all the users in the database. So to be as your friends, okay? So that means right here, all right, so we are gonna have a list. Okay, we call it friend list. Okay, now from here, you'll be able to see their names, okay? As a list view. So that's what we need. So obviously you can scroll down, scroll up, and then if you click on one of the friends, it will bring you to the next screen, which is the chat window, chat screen. Okay, so I want to make it really, really simple here. Let me put an arrow here. So if you log in, you go to here. And then if you click on one of the students, it will go to the chat window. All right. The chat window also is, we're going to follow the very typical standard chat window to build it. All right. So here is the kind of a chat view. Okay. Message view. And then we also need two more things down here at the bottom. One is to actually send a message. Okay. And then you need a button to send it. All right. So that's how it works. All right, pretty straightforward. Now, I'm gonna build everything based on the app we have so far. Okay, if you remember this app we have, and then you can log in. And then type your password. Okay, now here we see the students, and then you can add a student, and you click on the student, you can see the people, okay? It's similar to what we do, but it's a little bit different. Okay, one thing is you should know that right now when we sign up, we do not ask the user's name, okay? So these are different, these are just students. This is not a login account or login user. This is actual object we created. So this one has nothing to do with the friend list here. So what we need to do, extend a little bit, is we need to add one more field here, okay, to put your name so that we can display something. We don't want to display that whole unique ID, all right? So I'm gonna add one more name here. Once you have a name, every time when you sign up, we can keep track of your information in the Firebase so that here, all we need to do is to list all the users' names in the list. And then we click on one of them, you're gonna initialize a new chat window between yourself and then the selected friend or selected user. So that means our chat window only supports the chat with a pair of users, two users. We can then later on extend to the group chatting. That's also not difficult. All right, so that's kind of our design, okay? Now we need to think about how we are gonna build it, right? So as I mentioned, first of all, you need to think about the first two screens. The last one is a little bit tricky when you design it, but the first two are very straightforward. So let me go back to Firebase. Now, the authentication is still gonna handle all the user authentication, okay? And then, but then the Firebase real-time database will be used to store all the lists and information. And so right now, this is what we have, okay? You log in, you have your user unique ID, and then you create a bunch of user students. All right, so that's what we did before at the example. But now think about, first of all, I need to know every time when you create a user, what's your name here? So that means I need to track your user's personal information when you sign up. So in order to do that, I will probably just create another branch here. I'll call it users. And then users has a list of users. And then again, here, I think I will still use the unique ID. Okay, I'll just write something random here. to differentiate different users, but under each ID, I need to know their name. Okay, so that's all I need to track. But later on, if you want to add other information about a user, like major or other things, you can still add it below it. Okay, so just don't be confused. Okay, we're talking about a totally different application from the previous one, the demo one. Okay, so we're building this whole users, and then you can add another user with another unique ID, and then again the name here. Okay, so if you have this, it will be very easy for us to get the list of users from for this screen. Okay, so let's build this two first, and then later on let's talk about how we're gonna handle the messaging. All right, so come back to my code here. All right, so the main screen should have a login screen, and then right now there are 2 windows. We just need to add one more. So I'm gonna add this extended. Okay, so this is the email, and I'm gonna do a name. Here I need a new editor controller. So when you click on sign up right here, and then we grab your password and email, and then also we want to see the name, make sure everything's right. Okay, so this part here use Firebase Authentication to create a user in the Firebase Authentication database with a given email and password. And if it's successful, we print the value. If not, we show the error. Okay, so we still need this one because that's the authentication system. Okay, so just don't be confused. When you create sign up users, you use this part here. But this one here had a very standard table. You can't really extend it. You can't really add name or other information to this table. This is only handling authentication, storing a password, and reset a password, all of those. So we still need to use a database to connect the user with actual information. That's why I designed this kind of string here. So that means once you sign up your user, okay, successfully, I want to also put your user information into the Firebase real-time database. All right, so I'm going to add something here. Okay, so let's bring the code back. So if you remember, we will need something called database reference. I'm going to copy this line here. This is the most important line, and put it into my state class. Okay, so here's the reference, and then I need to add the import statement. All right, so with that reference, I can start to save information. All right, so it's very easy. Reference dot child. Child is specified the path, so it's going to be user slash and the user ID. So we already know the user ID right here. So I'm going to use this one here, and then to write the data, you do set. Okay, and this part is really simple. Just give the actual data you want to set. So for example, name, and the name will come from here. So text.string. Right. So that is how you sign up, and then we can also add the actual return or error. Okay, so here let's say successfully created a user in the database. Okay, so this one failed to create. All right, so let me split this code right here. So one more time. So you sign up with the Firebase authentication, and then you call the Firebase database to put the user, because I asked you to add this user name here, also into the database under this branch called users. All right, so let me rerun this app. Let me clear our authentication database. Okay, so I'm gonna delete. All right, so we'll keep this one because there's some example associated with that. All right, so let me sign up. As you can see right now, okay, so we got extra field. So I'm gonna sign up user. I'll do john@gmail.com, and the name is John, and the password is 123456. All right, I'm gonna click on sign up. See the information successfully, and then I'm gonna refresh here. Okay, you got a John new user, but more importantly, let's go back to database. Now this time for users, as you can see, there is a new record here. This is the unique ID, and then you got a name John. Let me delete the other two. Okay, now pay attention to this ID. It's a 9J7. So this is actually the ID you got from here. So we create a user from the authentication first, and then we also put the information into the database. All right, so let's do one more user. So I'm going to do one more. Guys, sign up. All right, so we got one more here, shows up. Let's do a few more. All right, one more. Obviously, you need a better dialogue to tell users that the things have been created successfully. Otherwise, you know, there's a bit of strange. And then let's do one more. Jim. Sign up. Right. Okay, so I'm gonna do this 5 users right now. Okay, so all have a name. But again, if you want to add other information, you just create extra field for your sign up screen. Okay, so with that, I can start logging. So for example, I can log in with Paris here. I click on login. That part still works. Okay, so so we're done with the first screen. All right. So any questions so far? All right. Feel free to chat in the window. Okay, you can chat all random things. Okay, I don't mind. So anyway, so let's move on. Next screen will be show the friend list. Okay, so I'm gonna create a brand new screen. I'm not gonna mess up with this one. So, oh, by the way, the code I already put in GitHub. Okay, I probably forgot to tell you. So it's CS. Let me send you the link. No, not this one. It's all right, so these are all the examples that we did before. This semester, I don't think I keep that complete because some of the examples are not very good. But I do track this Firebase example. All the previous years are all Android, so probably not very useful. But this year is Flutter. Okay, so I'm going to send this one to you. Okay, all right, so let's come back to show this screen here. This is only a list view, pretty straightforward. Okay, so I'm gonna basically build a new screen just to repeat the same process again. All right, so I will go to find the code to reuse. This is a simple one to reuse. I'm gonna do this one here. I'll call this friend list. All right, friend list. Change the name. Change the state name. All right, so rename all of those. Constructor. All right, so we're good. And then let me clear this part here. You don't need this. You don't need this one here. All right, just a title. All right, and then for the UI, this one, all we need is a list view. All right, so I'm gonna bring the list view here. Always can't remember some of the list view stuff, so I'm gonna build using this one here. Yeah, I'll use this one here, list view builder. Okay. So it's gonna be a column, right? So there's a list view. And then I also want to put a text in front of it. Okay, text, friend list. Now for list view, I'm pretty sure we need to make it like large, expanded. So I'm gonna make it expanded to take the whole screen. All right, and let's see what else we're missing. Okay, and then right here, for the list view, you have to provide all the list of users. Okay, so I'm gonna put some dummy user for now. Okay, so this is 5. Color, let's not worry about the color. And then child, I'll just do, let's see here. Okay, without using those. All right, so let me fix my indentations. Okay, so reformat. Okay, so this should give me a very basic list view. Okay, let's try it. This one is called friend list page. Now go back to the main screen. When you log in, click on the login button. Once it's successful, I'm gonna move to this new page called friend list. Okay, and you can just import the package. Now I don't need this extra parameter. So this is called friend list. Okay, so let's refresh, rerun this. Okay, so email, Paris, password 123456, and login. All right, so pretty straightforward. Okay, I have my friend list, and then there are 5 entries here in my the list view. Looks like I can remove this one because it's kind of redundant. Since there is a title in the bar. So I will go back here and delete this text here. Okay, now this thing here has been expanded for the whole screen. So let me refresh. Okay, so that's what it looks like. So later on, we're gonna show all the names. Okay, so as you can see, for the names, they're not hard to get because if you are familiar with the database, guys, look at it here, users, all the IDs, the name IDs, name ID name all together. Okay, so if you have this, it's pretty easy to just use Firebase to read everything and then to show all the names into the list. Okay, so to do that, we could start using Firebase again. All right, so let me bring the Firebase back to here, the database reference. Oh, we already have one, and we don't need the current user anymore, but we need a constructor. Okay, so let's do a constructor here. In the constructor, we need to load all the users. So to do that, to do reference child users, we want to get everything from there. And then from there, I do something called once. That is going to trigger the read once, and then provide this then. I think this is going to give you the data snapshot. Okay, and then catch error. So same kind of structure all the time. And fail to load all the users. Okay, here we're going to print just to make sure that we can get the information. One is the key, one is the value. Okay, all right, and then let's refresh, back, log in again, and this one returns all the list of users. Okay, so this is the key, this is the user. So we don't really care about the key anymore, we just really care about the user. So it's all saved in this value attribute. Now, I told you this is the map. You can't reuse this one in the list. So you gotta create your own list. So I'll call it users list. And then what we need to do is to iterate all of those. Okay. So they're gonna give you key and value. That's how you do it. Just remember this kind of a way to iterate. Okay, so that's what Dart do. And then so we care about basically the name, right? So the name is under the value. So if you see V, let's try this. V, um, if you try to print the name, I think that's going to give you all the names. All right, let's try it. I'm going to remove this one here. Go back, log in, and we see all the names. So pretty easy and straightforward. All right. So one way we can do is this. So as you got all the names, I can add those into my list. Okay. And then afterwards, this one will have the value. And then you can use this one to be here, user list dot length. And then here you're going to display basically user list dot index, and that's it, right? So I think that's how it works. But I guess you need to set the state to let them know the things got changed. So I can just do a set state here. All right, so it started working. So try one more time, guys. So log in. All right, so you see Jane, Paris, as John, Tom, all of this friends listed. Okay, and then if you want to make it nicer, just add a little icon like what I did last time. Okay, that's not very difficult. I can let me see. We can show that. Otherwise, it looks a little bit weird. So it's all under here. So container, child, there's a center child, and then if right now there's only one text, and then you can replace this part here with a row. Okay, so let's try this. Let's see if we can wrap that with a row. Okay, now with a row, I can also add a little image, and network. I think we did some placeholders. Let's see. All right, so there's URL. Let's use that one. Okay, so let's just add a little image and make it a little bit nicer. Okay, so something like this. So I'm not gonna play around too much with all the UI stuff, but it's pretty easy. But one thing you can see, guys, for all the apps, if you want to make the UI really nice, the images, okay, the assets, icons play a very important role. Okay, you can't expect to make your app UI look nice by changing the font, the color size, everything. A lot of the time, you need to have very nice icons and images and background images. That's actually the key. That's why a lot of the UI designers, they're just creating those ones for you. So for us, my advice is you want to make your UI look nice. Try to see what other apps are doing and try to follow and copy their style. Okay. Otherwise, it's the design part for me. It's harder than we thought. Okay, but it's a very interesting thing for so those of you who don't want to do too much intense programming, but if you think you like art, design, UI stuff, try it. Okay, it's never late to start something in that direction. In fact, it's actually a very good um, field. A lot of good positions. We need a really good designer. There are not that many good designers. Okay, I know one student. He was from CIS. He graduated last year, and then I think his major was e-commerce or something. It's nothing technical, but he was very into and interested in UI design, and he can do things really fast. Initially, I didn't think he can do that much, but later on, I see his work, and he likes to trial new design very quickly. But anyway, the short story is he actually got one internship um, in a company in Santa Ana. I forgot. It's one of the big companies there to do the UI design. And then the next summer, he did an internship in um, the credit card company, what's it called, Experian, in Irvine. And then after that, he did one in Sony when he graduated. he changed the job very quickly to American Express. So he moved to Phoenix. I think that's their headquarters. So anyway, very successful. Okay, so just do the UI UX design. All right, and then don't worry if you think that you never did art or something like that. All this stuff, like Flutter, it only came 1.5 years ago. So there nobody has 10 years experience. Okay, that's a nice part about CS. It's very hands-on. It's all about how much practice you do. All right. So here is the rows we implement. And next thing we need to do is to click on these rows and then go to the next screen. Okay. So in order to make sure you can tap it, you need to change this thing here into something called the list tile. Okay, let me wrap this. I'm gonna wrap this one with a child. All right, so I'll do a list tile. When you do list tile, it's not called child, it's called title. Okay, and then you also have something called untap. All right, so then you can specify what to do. And then we're gonna open the next screen, which is the chat window. So I'm gonna implement another screen here. I'll just reuse this one, okay? This one I'll call it chat view. All right, for the chat view, let's actually change the name. All right, I gotta speed up. I wanna make sure I can finish this example. So chat view. All right, and then I don't need this one anymore. Let me clean up the constructor. Also this part here. For this view, we also need a list view for the chat window. I'm talking about this one here. Okay, list view, text field, and then the button. So let me delete all of this. Let me borrow the list view again. This time again, I'll do a placeholder first. Okay, I'll just because we haven't figured out the data yet. So I'm gonna do this one. A list view. I want to do it expanded first. All right, so I got a one list view, and then I need this part, bottom part here, in a row. Do a row. All right, and then I need a text field, and then I need a button. All right, and then for the text view, I always can't remember the text view. So Flutter text field. Maybe we'll do something like yeah, we can actually still use this one. Nice, nice view here. And so we don't need this one, and this one here called a message. All right. Okay, so let's also let's just try it. Okay, so I'm gonna start this screen here. So whenever I click on the friend list right here, I want to start a new screen, and then to start a new screen, again borrow the code, the navigator code right here. Go to friend list, navigator, and then this one go to the chat view page. All right, chat window, refresh, back, click on the user, something is wrong. Let's see which one. Oh yeah, so I copy extra. Okay, so let me okay, let me make sure it is expanded, and then row. Trial has size. Yeah, I'm pretty nervous every time when I do this view. I know with that bug last time. Let me see what happens. Let's see list view. Expanded child list view, and everything seems to straightforward. Continuous. List view here, and wrap. Let me close this one here. Close this one here. Yeah, that seems to be right. And then there's one child list view. All of those. Oh, they're talking about text field. Okay, thanks, man. All right, text field need to be wrapped. Okay, you're right. Yeah, that's actually the problem. So, okay, let me wrap this with expanded. Yeah, that's right. So there's some kind of properties about this one. And then, okay, I'll make that large. Let's try this one. Yep, that fixed the problem. Okay, thanks so much, Matt. Okay, that saved me, I don't know, at least 10 minutes. Okay, appreciate it. So let's review here for the chat messages, and then here you can type the message and their little send button. Okay, so that's the chat we want to have. But later on, we're going to replace this part here with all the messages. Okay, so go back again, click on user, go back, click on user, go back, click on user, go back, and then chat. Okay, so that's how we're going to do it. All right. Now, we need to think about how do we implement the chat history. Okay, so for this part here, okay, the chat is pretty straightforward. We'll know that two people chatting, then the message, whoever type it, just go up based on the time, and just a list of message to show. So if I have the list of message to show, this part is not difficult. Okay, so this one here, you know, basically all the messages you save in the database to show it. But when you are thinking about this, because this one, the data has been shared by two users. So you really need to design a database to work that way. Okay, so showing the UI, you already know it. This is the same thing as this one, nothing different. Okay, sure, except that you got to modify the message orientation or position a little bit. But the loading from Firebase is exactly the same as this one. But how are you going to put in for the messages? So that's the thing you need to decide right now based on the database we have. So users, all right. So right now you have all the individual user information. And so we need to start to store the chat information, the chat history. And the chat information is related with two users. Okay. So you could, one way you could put it right here. Okay, you can put like messages. And then because you probably, this user could probably chat with all the other users. Wherever you're chatting, for example, the next user here, okay, I'll put the URL. That means this user is chatting with that user, and then a list message you can do. Okay, you can use timestamp to store the actual message. Okay, another timestamp to store another message, something like this. So that's one way to do that. You put these messages under this user information, and then with different users, you can store their chat histories. But the disadvantage of doing this is you probably need to duplicate this message, because this user here, okay, A71, Alice, also need to know and store all this information. So what you need to do is also to create the messages, okay? And then you do another one like this guy is just 3915, all right? And then same thing, you need to store, you know, the same information twice. Okay. So either user, when they open their view, they can use this one to track the actual user and then to find out all the chat history. Okay. So again, there will be, you know, the duplicate information in the database, which is not really needed. Okay. I don't know if you guys have any ideas on how to deal with this situation. So in other words, how are we going to organize and save the chat messages in Firebase? What do you think? Any thoughts? The ultimate goal is not to duplicate it. Very good, Owen. Yeah, so we need to separate the message from that, okay? So because if you put the enter here, it's very inflexible. So we don't want to do this, okay? So I'm gonna delete this part here. Composite key. Yes, very good, David. Okay, that's exactly what I'm gonna do, okay? So this user part should only handle the user, and then I'm gonna create another one. Daniel, yes. Okay, you guys all get it. So you see exactly what I'm thinking. So I'm gonna create another brand called messages. Okay. Here I'm only gonna save all the message history. As Daniel David suggested, since it involved the two users, we should use the two users the key to form a new key so that we can always identify and locate the list of message we use. Let's do say Paris and Alice. So that's their unique ID. So I'm gonna use this one 39Y5. Okay, I'm gonna just ignore the rest. Okay, and maybe I can do a dash and then 871AA. Okay, to represent this is the chat history between these two users, and then under there I got all the history. Okay, so that's how I'm gonna do it. By doing this, okay, whoever want to chat, all we need to do is look at their user ID and then get the composite key and to see if there's anything there. Of course, when you're doing this, you want to make sure that the order always is one order. Okay, so that way that's very easy because the string you can see whoever is smaller go to friend. So we always get the same composite key, no matter which two user IDs. Okay, so that's how we're gonna do it. So now, in order to do this, we need to see what we need for this screen. Okay, so for this new chat view screen, this one here. Okay, for this one here, once I get here, I need to know basically two user information. I need to know who is the current login user. I also need to know which one you're clicking. Okay, so if you look at this friend list right now, only shows the names. We actually don't have the user ID stored. So let me go back. Friend list right here. As I'm loading all the information, I only add the name here to the user list. Okay, so that way I can't really know the user ID of the actual the unique ID. So what I need to do is I need to also store this in here, the UID also into my list. Okay, so really a better way to do this in here is that when you sign up, we need to put the UID also under here. So I'll do a UID, and then this thing is the same, Y5 EY. Okay, ideally you also need to do this one. Okay, so we can go back to change that part here pretty easy. That's one way. Or right now I didn't do it. What I can also do is because I know, let's see here, this key has the UID. Let me refresh it. Okay, go back, log in. So the idea is right here. So all I need to do is just right now, I can still save this one into my list here. So it's not too late. So what I can do is for this list, I'm gonna add a map. Okay, so for this map, it's gonna have a name and UID. UID will be the key. Oh, I need to do a bracket. Okay, so they help to reorganize the code. So that way, okay, I manually just put this ID back into this little map and then with the name together. So now every information, every user information you see here has both the name and ID, even though I'm not showing the ID. So I gotta change this part a little bit. This view here had to show me the name. Okay, so let me refresh the code. Oops. Let's do this. Okay, so I need to read. Okay, so this one still works. Okay, now the difference is when I click on this user, I can see which one I'm clicking. So user list, index, I can see that information. So I click on Jim. Okay, I click on Jim and also I know that UID. And then I click on John. I click on John, I know the John's UID. So with this, I can pass it to the next screen, which I already showed you last time. So the easiest way to pass it is just use constructor. Okay, so let's add one more constructor right here. So this one here, we're gonna do a target user. Target user means that the user you want to chat. Okay, you can also get the current user, which is very easy. You can just directly get that from the authentication method. Okay, so and then this one you gotta initialize that. Oh yeah, this one don't need a type. All right, you pass a target user, and then you also want to know your current user. So let's, you know what, I don't want to recall this again. I will just try to pass the current user. So the best way is when you log in. Let me do this. I think we did that before. When you log in, because I already know your user ID, I should pass it right away. Okay, so for this one here, I'll do a current UID. Okay, so that I can receive this one from the login screen. So login screen, current UID. And here. So this one will be this little value here. Oops. All right, so that will be passed to this screen. This screen will know the current UID, and then it can also pass to this chat window. Okay, so for this chat window, this dot current UID. Okay, I'll do one more. So I go back. I just need to pass that over. Okay, so I need to pass two things. One is current UID, which comes from the widget dot current UID. And then I also need to pass the target user, which is this guy right here. Okay. And then this one does include the name. So we need a name or not, doesn't matter. Let's, yeah, this one is ID, this one has a whole thing. Maybe let's just do the UID, okay? So that we can keep the unique consistent. Current UID, target user. I'll call it target UID. So that is clear. Oops, this one. All right. So let's test it. Okay, so let me actually do a constructor just to make sure that we can see everything. So chat between current UID and target UID. Okay, we rerun it. So login pairs password. Okay, so I'm gonna chat with Jim. All right, so I think something wrong with the state. Okay, so this one was null. Wait a second. All right, so I think there's something wrong with this. I can't recall this one in the constructor, I think. Okay, so I'm gonna change this a little bit. Okay, there might be something related with the when I can call it. There's an initial state method. Okay, let me try to call it from here. See if that makes any difference. Okay, so this is the fun. Okay, that's something I remember. Well, you can't use this widget in the construction. Okay, for some reason I didn't dig into because some of the state maybe it's not ready to use yet. Okay, now here you can see the 3.9 to John 9J should be oh sorry 9J to John. This one is Paris. Okay, let's verify that. Yeah, this is Paris, and then the other is John. Okay, so you know the two users, and then you can start to push everything under that branch there. Okay, so it's pretty straightforward now. So let's try it now. Okay, so since we know both of this, now every time when you are putting your message, so we're basically going to here, every time when you click on send button, right here, every time you click on send, you grab the message and then put that to Firebase. Pretty easy. All right, so let's see if we can finish this. All right, so we need a controller for this one. Okay, controller. We'll do a message controller. All right, so this one is the typical way to build text editing controller. All right, and then once you got a controller, when you click on send, I can know the text you input here. Right. I also want to know the time you send it, okay, and also who sent it. So, all right, so let's do this. So I need to use the Firebase again. Firebase right here, reference. Okay. So reference dot child. This one will be the messages. Okay, because I want to save everything under here. And then is the composite ID we talk about. So two IDs. Now here you want to make sure the ID always in the same order. So right, that's why we can make a little method here. Get chat UIDs. Okay, so we're gonna do like a give. Do this. Just return. Okay, return the UIDs. So the current UID. That one is greater than the target UID. Then we're gonna do the target UID first. So smaller one goes first. And then bigger one. Okay. Otherwise, the other way. Okay, so that we can make sure always the same order. Okay, get chat UIDs. So we can use that one to give our pass, and then we're good to go. So once we locate that part, then we can set. Okay. All right. So then we're going to add the new message ender here. Now every message should be differentiated by the timestamp. That's pretty straightforward. Okay, so we need to have our timestamp. So dart get timestamp. I can't remember it. So it's right here. Okay. So I probably need to save this variable. Okay. So timestamp. Got it. All right. So I'm going to use this. Oh wait. So that means I need to put this one here under the pass. Okay. Okay. Because that way that's how you can build. Sorry, that's how you can build this structure. Messages / user ID / the timestamp, and then you put information here. And also, I think the message you probably need to have more information rather than just the text. You probably also need to know who's sending, because if you want to differentiate the sender and the recipient, you will need to know that information. All right, so I'm gonna put. That's why I want to put this set message here. I need to grab a few things. One is the message. That's the basic thing from here, from your container. Sorry, not container, the controller. Secondly, I also probably just do the sender. The sender, the sender coming from this screen always is a current UID, okay? Whoever is the login user will be the current UID. And then to simplify it, okay, I'm also going to put the timestamp here because I feel that we probably will need it somewhere later. Okay, so I'll show it here. So every message, I put all the information together. Okay, and then and then catch error. Failed to send. Okay. I'm not gonna do anything here. Okay, I'll do something. Send a message successful. All right, so I code here. Let's see how it works. Let me go back to here. Also, let me declare clear all the messages. Okay, let's start to watch the screen here. Okay, so go back to my app. Let me restart. I'm gonna have press chat with John, and then go here, have a message. I'm gonna click on send. Okay, something's wrong. Oh, you can't compare that with the string. That's a little bit surprise. Are we sort strings? Yeah, this is where we saw so we could do sort. Okay. Okay, compared to. Okay, let's see how that works. Compared to. It doesn't have this method. Compared to. Let's try it. Okay, so does that work? Compared to. Does that give you the same thing? I'll just do this one. Okay, see if that works. Send it. All right, very good. Okay, Matt, you saved me another time. All right, so here, I just sent a message, guys. Look at here. So this is Paris ID, John's ID. We just use $1, okay? And then that's the timestamp. There's a message, who sent it, and then I just re-save the timestamp because I think we will need that later, okay? So let's try it again. Are you there online? I send it. One more message. This one still comes from Paris. Okay. Now, if later on we can try if you log in, actually we can try it right now. Okay, so I go back. Now I'm going to join with John. Okay, log in. John is going to talk to Paris. And then, sorry, I just saw the message. I click on send. As you can see, from John, it also shows up from here. Because we're using that unique ID, and then we make sure they're the same order. So that's why this message all will be together. Between these two, the message are always here. And then we also know who sent it, what time they sent it. All right. So as you can see, this is how to design a database in this way. You know, for the NoSQL database like this, as long as you understand the key value pair, then it all works the same way. Okay. All right. Oh, Daniel, yes, I didn't see that. So thanks, Daniel, also. All right. So let's try to finish it. Okay. I think we're missing one last part, which is to show the messages. That part actually not difficult once you have this. Okay. So what we can do is I need to build another message to load chat messages. Again, I'm going to start with the inefficient way, always reload everything. So reference.child messages / get chat UIDs. And I just need everything here. And then get everything. This will be exactly the same format. As you can see, Flutter, it's basically very patterned. Okay, a lot of things, if you know how to do it once, we just repeat it. Okay, I'll get everything. And then the DS, the value will have all the messages. All right, so let me show you. So you can try to load the messages when you actually right here to see if there are any messages. Okay, so refresh this. Okay, go back. So this is John and Paris. Click on Paris. All right, so as you can see, I can load all the messages right here. This is all the same thing, okay? I'm not gonna repeat too much. And then I need to create a list for my list view to use. Chat history list. Okay, chat history will be here. So ds.value for each. For each, you got a key and the value again. And then all of those, we're gonna add the value to your list. Okay, so after that, let's make sure this one works. So I'm going to delete this part here. Okay, so create some pairs, and I got a list. So every list have a message on the center, everything. I haven't checked the timestamp. It should be the same order because I use when I use the key at the timestamp, it automatically keep the order. So I assume it's the same order. Okay, so now we can sort it, and then with that, I can just again set the state. To make sure we change the value. And the last part will be easy. So now I can just do it differently from here. For the list view, I just need a list view builder. Okay, so let me borrow the code one more time. The builder is right here. Okay, list view builder. All right, so let me replace this part. Okay, so this time it's the length will be chat history. And I don't do the color. And for the child, it's a text. It will be the chat history list index, and then I just want to show a message. All right, let me refresh it one more time. And here you go. All right, so, I still have entry. Let me back. Refresh that. Okay, so message. Okay, and I can type one more. We can send. All right, send is successful, but we're not updating yet. So I'm gonna go back and then check this again, go to Paris, and then the new message shows up here. All right, so we're almost there. Now, lastly, we need to update it. So to update it, I showed you the method to do it last time, which is very cool, something called a listener. Okay, so we can do something like this. Let me come back to the home code last time, just to kind of remind you. All right, so you register the listener all here. Whenever something gonna change, you just update it again. Super simple. Okay, so go back to here. Let's finish it. So chat view. All right, so load chat messages right here, and then this is the initial state. Okay, so I'm gonna register child messages slash get chat UIDs dot on child added. Okay, this is probably the most important thing for this case. And then listen, there should be an event going on. Okay, messages are added. So go to the call load this again. Again, this is not the most efficient way, but it gave us a result, I think. Let's try it. Go back, chat the pairs again. Oops. Why does this one? Let me make sure. So there's 4 messages. Why does shows this 4 times? Oh, because I need to, sorry about that. Because this one here, I gotta clear it each time, okay? So this one, we need a better way to write it, okay? This is not very efficient. So what you do is create a chat list every time, temporary, okay? The temporary list will be this one. So as you do this, you shouldn't update the state because it will trigger the update. And then at the end, you do the update state. So set state. Now also you need to clear the current chat history, or we'll do clear, dot clear, and then that one will be equal to the temporary list. Okay, so that you don't have to, every time we add something, you update the list. That's too inefficient. Okay. All right, go back, try it again, quick comparison, and then 4 messages. Now I can start a chat. I can chat, okay, so are you in CS 499? Click on send, and it shows up here. Well, but it's not in the same order, okay? How did they decide the order? This is a little weird. Well, I thought we added, let's see the orders we got here. V. All right, so let's try one more time. Okay, so the order we do, let me try one more time, okay? Test. Yeah, it looks like the order are added randomly. That's not what I thought. Yeah, we definitely can sort it. Yeah, so so we can do something very quick. Temp. Actually, let's do it. Let me think of one word to do it. Maybe do it here. Temporary list or sort. Well, but you have to provide which one to use to sort it. All right, so how do we do that? Start sort list. Okay, let's try that. So you're gonna sort two objects based on their timestamp. Hopefully that works. Yeah, I think that works. Okay, so that's how we can process the data here. All right, so that's our chat app. Okay, to verify, I mean, eventually the most interesting part, if you want to verify it works with different devices. Okay, we can do it next time because I think it's going to take a while to start my iOS app, but I'm pretty sure it works because you can see you log in with a different user, you can still gonna be able to see all the history, and we spent I think a little bit over 1 hour to do this. But this is the real chat app, okay? So it's already usable if you just install it with all the internet. And also the nice thing is all the histories are stored here. You're not losing it. Every time you can load everything. Obviously, next time we can do more decoration in the UI to move the messenger to the left and right, and then to show the time and who sent it, all of those. But this is how it works. So it's much easier than you saw. Okay, so if you know how to use Firebase to do things like this, it's super simple. All right. Any questions, guys? Are you feel okay with this kind of a screen sharing, Zoom meeting, or you think the going back to our classroom is better? Okay, looks good. All right. Oh, like making more? Yeah, I definitely see that it's easier to see the screen. I totally get it. Okay. Again, I'll share the I'll still put the video to the YouTube. Okay, you can still look at it and then let me know if any question. Thanks for all the participation and I'll see you on Thursday. Okay. I'll still be staying. Okay. If you got any questions, feel free to stay. And if you want to chat with me privately, let me know. Just send me a message privately in the chat window. I can, we can talk, we can call, and all of works. All right, guys. I will see you next time.